Today we are joined by one of my best friends. She has been confidant, supporter, honestly, such a great person to be around. We are very similar in a lot of ways, and I think we balance our anxiety levels pretty well. But she's been with me through a lot of the processing of the last couple of years and up until this podcast, and I'll talk about it later because she played a huge role in it. Do you remember? You just remember that?
Yeah, on our walk.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Today we are joined by my good friend Sheri. Sheri, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Would you like to introduce just a little blurb about yourself?
Yes. Hi, I am Sheri. I've known Josh since high school, and we got really close. We got closer after high school and university, and very close during the pandemic. So yeah.
She's studying to be a doctor of eyes.
Yeah, eyeballs.
Eyeballs. So you have any questions?
I got you.
She will look into your eyes.
Yeah.
The balls of your eyes. It's gross. So yeah, Sharon mentioned that we met each other in high school. I do not remember the definitive moment we became friends, but it was very quick, just like the other people on this podcast, like Catherine and Maria. It was because of band. We had band PE together, and we were such a vibe. The whole class was such a vibe.
It was good.
So for those who are in like band classes, ours was a little bit different because I don't think it happens often. It's not that normal.
No.
But basically, we split like band PE throughout the whole year, and so it was cool that the band kids, the nerdy kids we call it, were all in the same PE class. But the thing was, our class was actually quite athletic.
Yeah, I think so. Like
Yeah.
It wasn't like we couldn't do things.
Yeah.
We were pretty good.
I honestly, okay, this is hot take.
Oh.
I think we were
Yeah.
one of our teachers' favorite classes.
Oh, completely. They
For
loved us.
sure.
Completely loved us.
Completely loved us, and because we were actually pretty good at most of the sports,
Yeah.
or we at least tried.
I think enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. Honestly, the reason why I even liked gym or PE was because of our class.
Yeah.
It was so chill.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember Sheri sat in front of me. She was playing the clarinet. Do you still remember how to play a C?
Absolutely not.
Really?
That's gone.
Like the circle. And
That's gone.
this is actually a test on her
There's
musical skills.
stuff that's out of my head. I need to make room.
But she used to sit in front of me. So okay, this is how I say it. The flutes were always on task. The clarinets were kind of like they're always on task, but they always hurt us behind them.
Yeah, there's only 4 of us, so it wasn't like we could really distract ourselves.
But like you guys were the core four for the whole time. And I remember, actually I don't know this. I just got a weird memory. But there's one time where, like, I think she was sitting directly in front of me, and you just turned around. She had her cute headbands and stuff.
Oh no, not the headbands. Okay, yes.
We just started chatting, and it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like even throughout high school, I mentioned this before, but my year and her year, where she's 1 year older than me, gross. But we were really close. Like our whole grad classes were really close.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even throughout high school, we were just chilling.
Yeah. Oh, completely.
We big chillin'. Have you heard that?
Big chilling?
Big chillin'. You hear that
Bing?
meme? It's like
No.
eating ice cream in Mandarin.
Oh, no.
Anyways,
no.
sorry.
I'm too old for
I
that.
thought you were a meme queen.
I kind of am.
Okay. Anyways, but yeah, I guess like we just talk a little bit about high school. Like, I mean, we
Yeah.
weren't like we were really we're on good terms.
Mhm.
We vibed really well.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun together.
Yes.
We were kind of on the outskirts of all the drama.
We were?
I think so. Like,
Yeah, I definitely, I've always just avoided it, which is great for me,
Yeah.
but also I don't know anything. But
See, the thing is, I knew a lot about the drama, but I was never at the center of it.
yeah, that's kind of nice
It's
too.
honestly so
That's
nice.
nice in a different way.
I had a lot of internal drama.
Yeah, you did.
No, we haven't talked about it. And we're manifesting that some people get on this podcast.
That'd be great.
Because she wants to know.
I do.
But like I think like it was like honestly like good friendship. We hung out during the summers.
Mhm.
We went to Kula a lot.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was
You don't
great.
know what Kula is. It's like one of the first frozen yogurt places I think that became huge. We would go take the bus places. We would hang out on
Yeah.
the weekends. Like so we were like
Loiter.
we were loiter.
Yeah, we would.
So we were like friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were friends.
We were friends. I made you go to grad with me.
Yes. Okay. I went to
Yeah.
both her grads.
Yeah.
Winter grad and
You
her
were my date
spring
for
grad.
both.
Cute photos.
Yeah,
Very
there's some cute
photos.
ones.
So she liked me as her friend enough that she should take me as a date to prom.
I was like,
And it was so much fun.
it was fun.
It was
I had
so
a good
much fun.
time.
She had
Christina
a great
came
time.
too.
Oh, Christina came too. Who else? Maria and Catherine were in the grad class.
Yeah.
So it was just a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
Good vibes. But yeah, I think high school was very much like, I guess in Sheri's eyes, it was just kind of like Josh is just chilling.
Yeah, there's one definitive moment I remember.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so, okay, I was like, something's not right with Josh. It was in my grade 12 year. I was at my locker in the grad hallway. I don't know if you remember this. You were standing by my locker and just looked so exhausted. I was like, are you okay? And you lied to me. And you're like, yeah, I'm just really tired. And, like, you probably were really tired, but I think you also had a lot of other stuff going on. And after you shared your testimony to me, that moment, like, popped into my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you were not doing okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, like jumping right into
but
the den.
like, that was like the one moment that like really stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, Josh it's like you put on a really good facade. Gonna say that.
I still do that today.
You are good at that.
I'm really, really good at it.
But that was like the one like, oh no,
Sad.
it's not good. Yeah, thinking back on it.
I want to say this. I think we'll jump into this topic in a second.
Yo, come back.
But core memory, a memory just popped out.
Yeah.
But I think like no matter how hard you hide it, it peeps out.
It does.
It does peep
yeah.
out.
And
no
like
matter how hard.
I knew something was wrong.
She knew me enough.
Yeah. I was like, Josh isn't okay.
Yeah. But she didn't know at the time what was going on, right? And I mean, honestly, not even just what I was going through. I was quite a private person anyways. Like, I didn't really share much about my family or church or anything. I was pretty, like, to myself.
I don't even think I knew you were religious for a long time.
Oh,
but also, I'm just not observant sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess so after high school, you guys graduated.
Yeah.
But what was cool was that we actually had a little crew of people called the Van Fam, which is basically it started because a group of us went to Vancouver once. We had the best time, and then we just called ourselves the Van Fam. We just hung out. Even when I was in grade 12, we still hung out. I think we didn't really hang out during your first year, though. I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I was adjusting.
She was adjusting. She was.
It was.
I just remember going to university and then knowing that she was on the field hockey team, and then watching her practice while I was working out because I was like, "Yeah, Sheri, you blocked those shots or whatever." But I think it wasn't until later on in university where you started hanging out with us, the Van Fam, and then we just kind of hung out, played board games. I think we did. I remember actually, Sheri and I were having this conversation when we started working out together, and I looked back in high school. We actually did a little bit too. Just a very, very small amount.
Okay.
Yeah, but then so fast forward, we hang out. Sorry, university. We started hanging out more. And then Sheri heard my testimony, and would you like to share
I'd love to.
your reaction?
So I wasn't able to go to it in person. I think it was the exact day I had an exam or something, so I couldn't go. And then Josh Facebook messaged me, being like, "Hey, here's the audio recording of my testimony. Like, it'd mean a lot to me if you take a listen." And I remember I was sitting in my room in the basement. And I was like, I think I was avoiding studying for another exam. I was like, perfect.
As we do.
I was like, let's load this up.
Yeah.
So it loaded up onto my iTunes, and then later loaded onto my iPod. Just which one time came on in the car on shuffle, and so I had to quickly. I was like, change it. So okay, it was on my iTunes, and press play. I hear like shuffling around, getting it all ready.
Oh, and, wow!
Like
you remember?
I remember. Yes, it was core memory. It was pretty. It was pretty dramatic listening to it because I was so sad.
Aww.
And then Josh started speaking, and I started crying immediately. And then I went upstairs bawling to my parents, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Ah!" And then I said the story about you being tired, and you weren't tired.
You said it to them?
Yeah, I remember saying that to him. I was like, I remember Josh saying he's tired all the time. Like,
Wait, my question is, what was
Yeah.
their reaction?
they were just there. I think they were taken aback because I was just very upset.
Yeah.
And very suddenly too. Like I just
Yeah.
came upstairs like bawling.
Yeah.
So they're like, what the fuck? So, and then I listened to the whole thing like crying the whole time. It was like an hour, wasn't it?
No, it was like 20 minutes.
Okay. I'm conflating this in my mind.
She did not study for the rest of the night.
I didn't. I was done. Yeah.
I don't even remember what you responded with.
I think I said something. I was like, "You were so loved, so deserving of all the love." That's all I remember writing, and like crying, typing it. Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of tears.
Oh.
Yeah, and then like you used not real names, and then I was trying to figure it out. That was the other thing. There was a mix of like upset, but then also like a mystery in a way. It was like
She was upset at the people that she was trying to figure out who her
yeah,
name.
that too. And then like I was was acquaintances with a lot of the people mentioned, and that made me mad too. Right? I was like, how could this have been happening? And like I didn't know, so like I wasn't supporting you, and like I was still associating with some of these people, and like I probably wouldn't have if I had known what was going on, kind of thing.
You know what's crazy? I just had a weird thought.
Yeah.
That I've been really, really good at liking people and being their like good friend secretly. Like
Yeah.
no one knows. Like no one really knows like that the people that I've liked in the past, they've known not a lot of people know unless I tell you guys.
Yeah.
But no one else knows. And like I'm kinda like that side chick. Like that's kinda how I feel.
Josh is a side
I'm
chick.
a side chick. I'm a side bae.
Are you a side chick?
Isn't that bizarre though?
Yeah.
I'm so good at hiding it.
You are good at hiding it.
Don't hide your emotions.
No, please
folks.
don't.
But yeah, I'm like I think I have to tell you eventually who those people were.
Yeah.
You're mad.
Like I think I figured out most of them, but like
Yeah.
I wasn't positive on some. But yeah, there was a bit of like almost anger. I wouldn't say like I think in the moment it wasn't quite anger. It was like frustration of like I didn't know this was going on, and then I felt very sad.
And I
for
think
you.
like honestly, for me when I think back on those people, like as your acquaintances or friends, you're like I can see how you would be disappointed. Like
Yeah.
you could have treated Josh better.
Yeah,
You know, or did it this in a different way, you know?
yeah, definitely.
And I think like after I told you, a lot of other things connected, right? The things that happened in high
Yes.
school.
Yeah,
I mean, there was our trip and and other
Yeah.
things.
yeah.
Which I won't go into because I think it's just we just need a whole table of us to talk about that
Yeah,
trip.
there needs to be like 7 people.
That
on
should be a
combo.
bonus episode.
Yeah,
I would love that.
big podcast.
I think we all have a little bit too much to drink.
Oh,
And just
absolutely. That'd
spew
be
it all
great.
out.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
fantastic.
But I think after that, I remember. So this is back in like 2016 was when I shared
Okay.
when I shared my testimony with my church fellowship, and I shared it with you and our friends like Sierra and Christina and everybody. Did you go to my baptism?
No.
No, I don't think so. No.
When was that?
That was basically a couple days after.
Oh, okay.
But I think you were studying for your exam on Monday that she could not study for.
Yeah, right.
Because,
like I think it was in December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was in the middle of exams.
I'm really good at making people cry.
You are. You really are. Which I think you enjoy a bit too much.
I enjoy it very
You
much
love
because
it.
I don't feel much.
So Josh made us watch Anohana, and it's one of the saddest anime I've ever seen, and Josh was laughing at my tears.
It's not that sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's bittersweet.
It was all about like
Don't ruin it for
Oh,
everybody.
Okay, what about Grave of the Fireflies? You also made us watch that. And Josh was like, I can't wait to see who cries. And everyone who had a younger sibling was sobbing. And if you've seen the anime, you understand why, as an older sibling, you might sob at the end of that movie. So you enjoy it a lot.
There are many signs that I was not okay. And I think
This is just one of them.
this is one huge one. Let's see how I can make everyone else emotional, but not myself.
Do we want to unpack that?
Not right now. And then we can unpack that as we go.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, so after I shared my testimony, and like our friendship didn't really change much. I think it was
No.
like literally, wow, Josh, nothing changed. Like everybody knew me as I was. I didn't change how I acted. I
No.
was still
You were still yourself.
goofy, whatever. But Sheri and I did get closer, like in different chapters of our lives. I think, like back in like 2016, 2017. I think I remember I was just came out, and then was going to therapy and all that stuff, and it was just like, I hate my body. I remember that. Like, I mean, I still deal with that now, but was I really want to work out and like better myself, and so then I don't know why I thought of you first.
I've done gym things.
So okay, yeah, because I know
worked
that
at a gym.
Sheri worked at a gym. You did field hockey for many years.
I did a lot of sports.
You did a lot of like conditioning and strength stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what? One, Sheri's a good friend of mine. Two, I feel like she wouldn't judge me, even though she loves to tease me a lot.
It's worse now.
It's so worse now. But I reached out to her, and then we ended up like working out together 3 to 4 times a week sometimes.
Yeah, you always made me go. You were very good at that.
I am a dedicated person.
You are, yeah. I'm lazy.
And so that kind of I think a lot of those workouts, we actually had a lot of nice conversations.
We did.
That was kind of like those, like, because I think you got injured. Was that, what year was that?
Probably, yeah. Like I was getting out of field hockey too, so it was good to pick something back up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because is that when you had your vertigo stuff too?
Yeah, the other round of vertigo.
So I think we both kind of like started to just talk about, other than like laughing, playing board games, hanging out. Yeah. We started talking more about personal things.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether that is like me and my crushes, or like my therapy stuff, or just like, I think for me it was like, one thing that I learned recently was that a lot of close people before I came out, I find it difficult to share things with them because I think I don't want to change that relationship.
Oh, really?
Which is a really big thing to recognize, because I think that's why I'm kind of like, with certain people, I'm just like, I'm not going to say anything.
So these are friends who knew you like more before you came out, and you just like haven't.
Right, it's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So when I think back on it, I think Sheri was like, you weren't like close enough that I wasn't uncomfortable sharing. I think we were kind of like friendly. We were pretty much pretty friendly for most of it, and then we got really close. Yeah. And I think the fact that you were sharing things, and like, because you graduated in 2016 university. Yeah. And then you were thinking about like future stuff, work, and all those things, and then we just started like just chatting and like being supportive of one another, and which honestly was really helpful, especially during like just basically coming out and having therapy and everything. We would go work out and then have a giant burrito
to negate the workout.
We totally convinced ourselves
that they were healthy.
that they had protein, they had veggies, they had,
to a degree, not wrong.
Honestly, actually not bad.
Yeah, not the worst
we could have.
Not the worst.
I'm pretty sure we had something bad right after the workout.
Oh, probably.
But isn't that why people work out? Like, I worked out today, but like,
yeah, gotta like, you know,
teeth. Yes. Let's see.
I kind of have a story that I was thinking of after you sent me your questions. I don't know if you want me to jump into it yet. I'm jumping the gun, but it was kind of how I've noticed you change in a way. Do you want me to bring this up?
I think we should bring it at the end.
Oh, okay.
Or is it like from like high?
It's from our workouts to like now.
I think we should bring it later. I think that's a good wrap up.
Okay.
You can say it. You can say the nice things to say to Josh till the end.
Have I been saying mean things?
You're holding yourself back. I know this is really hard for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, say that for it. I think.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I interrupted.
This is rude.
That's me.
That's you. Okay, so fast forward. Fast forward. I just graduated. I graduated music, and then I graduated my education PDP program, and I don't think you remember. I was like totally kind of lost. I didn't know if I wanted to teach for a while.
Yes, I do remember that.
And I think we were working out at the time too.
Probably.
So that was honestly like a godsend saving moment, because I think if I didn't work out, I wouldn't have anything to distract me and like get my mind off stuff. But during the same time, you were applying for optometry school.
Yeah.
And so we both kind of, I think we bonded a lot because of that. Because I still remember those salty tears in your soup noodles. You were just crying at the restaurant.
Yep, classic.
And just like, because I just finished, I got my teaching certification.
Yeah.
And I was like, Sheri, I don't know if I want to teach. And then you were wanting to go to optometry school, but you wanted to go in the States, but they're so expensive.
Yeah, so like couldn't get the money together. Oh right, you saw that.
I saw all.
You saw
of
a lot of that. That
Yeah.
was not fun.
That was tough.
That was a really stressful month. Like like that August of whatever year that was. That was one of the most stressful like time frames that I can remember. And I was house sitting, and you and Sierra came over, and you could just like, I think you could just tell I was stressed.
Yeah, and it was really hard because I think we're both really good at being bullies of ourselves.
Oh, completely. Worst enemies.
We are the worst enemies of ourselves, and so I think we both understand that.
Yeah.
So we always, I think we're good at like helping each other kind of get out of that.
Yeah, it'd be like, stop thinking that way.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
you are smart, you are beautiful, you're hot.
And we're like, no.
yeah, basically, yeah.
But I think that those moments of like vulnerability, because like, I mean, to be honest, like, I don't think I didn't need to share that I was like struggling with my career or wanting to do that, and you didn't need to share any of that either. Like, I think we could have kept it to ourselves, but
yeah, we could have kept it as like an acquaintance level of friend.
Yeah,
but we didn't.
Yeah,
we went for it.
But I think like what really helped was those years leading on to that. Like, we kind of established this safety between the two of us, and honestly, I think, I don't know, you helped me a lot through those months of like trying to figure it out, right? And actually that was my first, actually when I think back on it, that the year before I started teaching in Vancouver was like my struggle with like identity and career, and that was my first, I think, low point that I didn't recognize until too late. Yeah. So anyways, but you really helped me with that. And then Sheri then later applied for another school.
Oh no.
I'm
going through my trauma.
Yeah, this is your trauma. And so you applied again for 2020, the year 2020. Right?
Yes.
And so I had moved to Vancouver at the time, which was, I think, Sheri was very sad.
Yes, I was. It's like, where's my friend?
We were workout buddies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then you applied again for optometry school.
Yes.
And she had basically had her interview and came to Vancouver.
It went terribly.
And I picked her up. I think I called you first. I'm like, hey, I'm here. And you're like, I'm a mess or whatever. I didn't do well.
Yeah, I was like, it went so bad.
She went to the car, and I just remember you just crying and the entire way into Tom Lee music.
And you're like, do you want to come in? I was like, no.
So she's just crying in the car.
Sitting in the car crying.
And then I went to like get stuff for school and stuff. And then I think we went out for food, and you were still just really sad.
Yep. And then we found a wine called Joshua, I think.
Yes.
That was great.
We drank 2 bottles of wine on a Friday.
You weren't working the next day. That's all I remember.
No, Saturday, because on the next day we hung out. You felt a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then Sheri was wanting to go back home, but then she got stuck.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the weather was bad, so
it was like windy, and snowy.
It snowed, yeah.
Sheri still didn't feel great about herself, and then the next day I went to work, and it ended up being a snow day. But I was already at school, so I had to take care of the students. And Sheri like left my house at like 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30 a.m. I think.
And then you didn't get home till like what?
I think like 3:30. And it shouldn't have taken that long.
If you want to continue that story, Sheri, what happened after you got home?
So it wasn't that same night, but then I was so tired. I slept in, woke up, texted work. I was like, I don't think I'm going to come in. I'm exhausted. So I didn't go in. And then I went to go try on a dress, like way later that evening, try on a dress. And I got bit by a dog. So it was a rough, like, couple of days of a terrible interview, very bad travel, and then a dog bite.
And you love dogs.
I do, yeah. So now I'm a bit more apprehensive around dogs, but yeah. So watch out for dog. Mouse.
I remember you snapped me like you got bit by a dog, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was a rough little.
It's like the cherry on top of the cake.
Yeah,
like,
it was a rough weekend.
It's a rough weekend for you. But then what happened? Oh, pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Pandemic hit. You were scared I wasn't going to come back for Guatemala.
Yeah, you were not in the. Trudeau was like, everyone get home, and Josh was in Guatemala.
Just honestly chilling, because like we didn't feel anything over there.
Yeah.
We had heard from like colleagues and stuff from the email being like, "Hey guys, there's no toilet paper. Can you bring some back for us?" Like it was that bad. And I remember just being like, "Okay, cool, we're going back." Like whatever. And then we came back the day everything shut down.
Oh,
it was
interesting.
such a culture shock.
I bet.
Because we had come back like, we in Guatemala they were very affectionate. Like they love hugs and all that stuff. And we come back, they're like, don't touch each other.
Yeah.
Everyone wear a mask. The highways were empty.
Oh.
And luckily my friend picked me up in my car.
They got you groceries, right? Very nice
yeah.
of them.
Because I actually had the quarantine for 2 weeks.
You did.
Yeah.
We quarantined at the same time because my boss. Was it the same time? Yeah, I quarantined a week after you, I think, because my boss got sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so we were both stuck in our rooms. Well, you had your apartment. I was stuck in my room.
Mm-hmm. And then pandemic sucked for everybody. I'm not just for me.
You're the only one who suffered.
No, I'm the only one. But pandemic only really hit me on the end, like end of school year. So like we were online teaching from like April to June.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, I was just like basically got news that didn't get the things I was teaching. I wanted to teach. I started questioning my career again. I couldn't see any of you. Like it was like kind of like really sad.
Yeah.
But what happened after that? I think you got into school.
Just as I was ending my quarantine from my boss getting sick, I got an email being like, "Congrats, you made it." And I was like, I had one more day of quarantine left, so I didn't tell my family. I don't think I messaged anyone. I don't think I told you guys.
No?
I was just quiet. My family was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like I was almost mad that I got in at this point because I think I'd given up in my mind. I was like, okay, like time to find something new, and I found out I got in.
What was your other plan again? You had a plan.
I was gonna write the MCAT during the pandemic. Actually, I was like, okay, perfect. I knew this wasn't gonna go away quickly, so I was like, hey, write the MCAT for the next couple months and give that a shot. But yeah,
I just remember when let's just go back to when you like came to visit me.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, Sheri, like, maybe it wasn't as bad as you think. Like, we're always so hard on ourselves. Yeah. Like, the interview is just one part of it. Don't worry. And you're like, no.
Yeah, I was inconsolable.
And I remember like you like told me that you got in. I was just like, told you, bitch.
Yeah,
like that was my attitude towards you. I was like, all those tears in the soup.
It was such a bad interview. The guy was like, so why do you want to go to optometry school? And I said nothing. I couldn't think of anything. I completely blanked. And that was the first question. So it wasn't a good start. But
maybe he was just intrigued. He just really wanted to know your answer.
It's funny because I had him the previous year for the interview, and he remembered me. So I was like, that's either a great thing or a terrible thing. So
it's either he's like she has potential, or like let's see what she actually can do.
Yeah,
like.
right. Like it's like, oh, you're back again, really? Like, or it's like, oh, you didn't get in. Oh, like two extremes, but
well, then she got in.
Made it.
We hung out. Oh, we hung out in the summer. We like
hung out in my backyard.
we have so much. Honestly, some of my favorite memories.
It was good.
Like we
fire
stayed
pit.
2 feet away from each other.
3 meters, honey.
Oh, probably.
It was. I measured it.
Okay, we hung out in your backyard maybe at least once or twice a week.
Yeah.
With the fire going on.
Yeah, the fire in the
We
middle.
just like hung out and chatted, and like we ordered as usual food, and like
that was good.
like it was like not the same, but like we were just like
It was nice.
we went for walks. I'm pretty sure, and
Yeah.
like stuff like that, and like so it wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
And then September came around. I went back. I had to go. Oh, do you remember in June I was sent back to school.
You were?
Yeah.
Like in person, or you?
Yeah, I was sent back to go in person as the person living in Victoria.
Right. Yes.
And I was pissed. I was so pissed.
So rude.
I was so pissed because I'm like,
Was that in 2020?
that was in June 2020.
It was.
Because we were
It was in 2020. Oh.
no, because March 2020 was when
Yeah.
pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Online learning started in April 2020.
Yeah.
And then so by June things were kind of the school were allowing kids to come in.
Oh, like half of them, right?
No,
or
the
something?
kids that had
Government?
essential workers.
Yeah,
as
essential
parents.
worker. Right.
And then like
Bye.
I love you, person that I'm talking about, and I won't say your name, but like,
Oh.
why did you choose me of all people? Like, I was like, I had to take a ferry back, leave my family that I
Yeah.
already missed during the pandemic,
Yeah.
live by myself.
Yeah. Depressing.
It was like okay. Anyways, to be fair, I was kind of when I was teaching online, I was kind of like I don't like this because my mom is very I love my mom. She's very caring, very loving, but she's very nosy. So she would always like ask me if I finished my work or not, and I'm like, Mom, I've been teaching for like a year. I'm done my marking.
Right. Yeah. It was like.
She's like, why are you watching TV? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm done marking or
Yeah.
whatever. And then so I was a little fed up with that. And there was one
Fair.
time where we were teaching online. I think not like my students won't know this. If you're listening to this, surprise. There's one time I was teaching, full on teaching. My mom comes in. She's like, I don't know the password to the Wi-Fi. Can you help me? I had to be like, wait a
That's
second. So then I like
sweet.
turn off the mic and the camera. And I was like, Mom, you can't come in while I'm teaching. I know you need to go to your women's chat group or whatever, but you cannot. I'm
Oh.
working. And so like things like that. So
Yeah.
I kind of got used to living by myself with my own boundaries, and then suddenly kind of like got breached, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of enjoyed going back for those 2 weeks, but also just this is so sad. I need to go back to Vancouver because also I have to drive my car with my stuff in the car, stuck in my car on the ferry. Like it was
Yeah.
just the most isolating thing.
Yeah.
And then luckily I was like, oh yeah, I'm going back because I'm a teacher, and they sent me back to the school, like because that was time when you had to have a reason or whatever.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Anyways, sorry. I hope everyone's learning so much about my pandemic here.
Yeah. And we played
Um,
video games.
Oh my
And
god. Okay, wait. So this is the thing. This is the key thing that Sheri and I became really good. Did you see that? We missed. You missed.
I wasn't trying to high five.
I was doing this and you went past me.
Oh no, I was trying to mimic you.
So okay. So 2020, Sheri gone to school, and she did your first semester here.
Yeah.
And so I had to move back, sad. And I moved back to teach, and we decided, I forgot who did it, but we decided to do weekly game nights.
How did
I
we
don't
start
know
this?
who started it.
I had the game first. So was it me?
Probably.
Because I had Don't Starve first. And that was the one we started with.
Did we play it during the summer? I think
Yeah,
we
we
did.
did.
We played it during the summer.
Yeah.
I remember because I can't say that. Sorry.
Oh.
Wait. I'm going to text you.
Oh
Sorry.
Excuse
I can't
me?
say this because anyways, but yeah, we started playing in the summer, and because we couldn't see each other anyways. I remember that. So we started in the summer.
Yeah.
We played weekly, and then we continued that, and that
Yeah.
like we haven't done it recently, but it was like we did it probably for a solid year and a half. I'm not even like
It was
kidding.
very consistent. You didn't text me. Try and get the tea here. It's not here yet. Yeah, we started with Don't Starve, and somehow we got into Terraria.
And then we kind of went back. We played Among Us like crazy.
Oh yeah, Among Us. I forgot about Among Us. Yeah, did we start with that? Did we start with Among Us?
No, I remember playing Among Us in van. I remember that because I was sitting. I remember the depressive days of me sitting.
I got the tea.
yeah. I remember sitting in my depressive living room in my first apartment, looking
damn.
at my TV screen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then you know how people had the last night we were watching Netflix,
Yeah.
and then the screensaver would go on. I remember just hours me just lying there, questioning my life, and then
Oh
the
my
screensaver was
god,
on.
you didn't tell me that. You mentioned it last night, but that's depressing.
That's really depressing.
Nice.
When you're uncomfortable, don't know what to say.
Yeah. Oh, great.
We played a lot of games, and I think that's kind of like because Sheri and I were kind of like we were kind of close. We both chatted, but then during 2020, 2021, 2022, Sheri was there for a lot of the like mental processing of my life. Because I haven't at that point. I'm not somebody who is. I am open. I will talk about things, but I'm not like deep. Or I won't talk about a lot of the deep thoughts that I'm having.
Yeah.
Or things that I'm processing. But our friend group, like it would be even just like the one night, like I look forward to it so much every week.
Oh, it was like a godsend.
We would play literally for like hours.
Hours.
She has Ontario time, so she had it rough than us.
Not fun.
But we would just be like, "Hey, how was your week?" And then like we were able to just like talk and be like, I had a really, really shitty week.
Yeah.
Like I really felt like I didn't teach well, or
or
you're like, "Oh, I'm really not really doing well in school right now," and like. I think that was honestly such a constant. It was a constant in a very like, what's the word where we don't know what's gonna happen, like the world, like
it was a very tumultuous time, and that was like one constant. It was like Friday night meet at like 6 o'clock Western time, like 9 Eastern.
Right, like,
and then let's game for a bit and chat, and it was nice. It was it was routine when we didn't have any routine other than like online routine.
Fair.
Yeah,
maybe that's why
we had no routine.
Yeah,
except that Friday meetup.
And I wonder, we also did workouts together.
Oh my!
You remember that?
Yeah,
we did it weekly.
Pam.
With Pam.
Yep. Pamela Reef, look her up. Good stuff.
Can you please sponsor this?
Yeah.
You honestly helped our physical health.
Yeah, it was great.
And like honestly. It was it was basically like a refresh. It was like a Friday after a long week of school or work, and we just kind of just forgot everything and just kind of just chatted and just like whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly what made us close.
Yeah.
It was because we went through pandemic together. You know? And like even tonight we were hanging out with our crew, and it's always a great time. It's always like I think we all really appreciated the fact that we're there for each other, and it shows even now when we're hanging out still. It was a really good time. Like I do miss gaming. We haven't gamed for a long time, but life gets busy when things are opening up. You can actually do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Very true.
Hey everyone. It's been a while since I posted. A lot of things are happening in my life right now that I need to deal with, and want to take care of myself before anything. This podcast has been such a passion of mine and a joy of mine, and I want to continue doing that, but I don't think it's going to be as regular of posts. But I still want to have really important and deep conversations with a lot of important people in my life, so just know that there will be content, but just not on a regular schedule. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can find it on Instagram and on YouTube at The Open Closet Media. If you'd like to support me personally, you can find my Instagram at jmkpoon. So,
what?
Sheri was there for a lot of the things that I processed, like I mentioned, but she was also there for a lot of the boy trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Sheri was there for before I moved. She was there for one of my crushes. She was the outsider.
I knew no one.
She knew no one. She could just literally just listen to me.
Yep.
Me just like be really sad and like whatever for like 3 years. Why are you laughing?
Just gonna be really sad for 2 years.
Oh, and Sheri was there. Okay, for the people who are listening, this is probably coming out at the New Year's. My song, The Invitation, is out on Spotify.
Plug it. Go.
Plug it. Sheri was literally there when I got the invitation.
I was there.
I called her sobbing.
Your turn to cry.
I cried enough. But yeah, that song. You know, I should do a video on the background of those songs.
That'd be
There's
good.
so much tea behind
There
those.
is a lot of tea.
But I had gotten the invitation to the wedding, to this person's wedding, and it was one of those moments where it was like it's over. You know,
Yeah.
it was like, Josh, you need to let go. And yeah, I would say it was a long time me liking this person, but to be fair, it was like my first time away from them. You know,
Yeah.
like back in Vancouver and stuff like that. And I remember I got it. I was sitting in my lonely living room for my
Oh,
first apartment.
paint a picture.
Yeah, I had it in my hands, and I just started crying.
Oh,
And what? You're just imagining it now?
yeah.
I can't imagine anything.
Painting a picture.
Me sitting on my futon that's currently beside you.
Nice. Oh, that one?
With Oscar beside me. Oscar and Danny are also a part of this episode. Also, side note, just complete side note. You notice that we're sitting on the ground because my brother took the couch from our podcast, so sad.
Ground.
We want to feel grounded, you know?
Oh.
Anyways, so I cried, and usually when I cry, I don't say anything. I don't tell anybody. I just keep it to myself, and I'm like, you know what? No, I need to talk to somebody. So I call Sheri.
Oh my God, opening up.
Do you remember that?
Excellent. Like, I'm trying to picture exactly where it was, and I'm having trouble with that. But, like, yes, I do recall you crying on the phone.
Crying at the club.
Crying at the club.
And it was a moment I had to let go. And even in the song, it was like, the last verse is like birthday text and how are yous. I think it's time for me to let loose because it's clear it won't mean anything anytime soon. And a lot of people really like the lyrics. I hope you like the lyrics. But I had cried to you because I think I had finally had to let go of this person that meant a lot to me. And this person was a really good friend of mine, and I think you knew that this person went through a lot of stuff with me.
Yeah.
Not just me and my feelings and dealing with those things and figuring those stuff out, but also a lot of life things that happened when my friend passed away, and a lot of growing moments in university and all that stuff. But it's kind of like I felt like I was letting go of a friendship in a way, right? And like, because I knew that it wasn't going to be the same. I remember sobbing to you for like 5 minutes, and then I stopped crying.
And you're like, there we go.
And you're like, that was quick. I'm like, yeah, I'm good now. Like, but it was needed. I really needed to say something.
Was it cathartic in a way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of one of those, like, when I deal with things myself, I don't deal with it, you know, because I'm kind of just like holding it in, I'm shoving it down. But when I told you, it's funny, like I was letting it out.
Yeah.
I learned that I'm a very, very much a verbal processor, and it helps me kind of like organize my thoughts and all that stuff. And luckily Sheri picked up because that would have been really bad. And then and then you were there when I was in the process of going on my first date.
I was.
She was very excited.
Very excited.
She was there when I was not doing well after that.
Oh yes, you spoke to me first. Yes.
Yeah. I remember. So back in 2021, which is crazy to think about. 2021, dude. We're almost at 2023.
I know.
I had decided that. Okay. Also, I'm drinking bubble tea. It's terrible for my phlegm. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I'm not learning from my mistakes from my first episode.
Oops.
We love learning from our mistakes. Anyways, this is the podcast here.
Nice.
2021, I decided I was kind of more open to the idea of dating, and went on my first date, and it was like pretty good. I wasn't really like, I had told you guys that it didn't work out. I wasn't really that sad, but it did make me realize how lonely I was. And then oops. And it was like winter blues. It was like one of the worst winter blues of my life at that time, because I wasn't really enjoying my job.
Yeah.
I wasn't with you guys.
Nope.
I basically got rejected. And just everything wasn't lining up, and I literally
sad.
my life literally was work, home, sleep. Like
Yeah.
nothing. Didn't see anybody. It was during the time where there was no social. I had a social bubble, but no, I wasn't close enough to anyone to be part of the social bubble.
Yeah, it was COVID had gotten bad again.
Yeah.
And so it was like, don't see anyone. I think you had some things, and then did they get canceled because it got bad again?
No, it was
No,
it was
okay, it
very
was
much
just bad,
like
bad.
I decided I wasn't going to see anybody because I was teaching so many kids, like so
Right,
many
yeah.
students. But then like my social bubble crew was you guys back in Victoria,
Yeah.
but in Vancouver I wasn't close enough to people to be part of their bubble.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was hard to see everybody else with their friends
Yeah.
and living their life, growing these relationships, where for me, because of pandemic, all those relationships I started just ended.
Yes.
It was very abrupt.
Yeah.
And I felt really isolated. I was so isolated. It was really bad, to the point where even my parents noticed. And that's like kind of, my parents are like, they're observant, but like
Yeah.
they don't really talk much about that. But I remember when I came back for spring break. Okay, here we go.
Oh, story
Came back for
time.
spring break. I was just like, get me home. Like, I need to come home.
Yes.
Now, spring break. When's the spring break?
I'm thinking, so, because
You know what I'm thinking about?
well,
Wait, what do you think about?
I was in Ontario at this time, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I do remember. Was it spring break? Okay, you go. You
Wait,
go.
wait, okay.
Go for it. Go nuts. Go
I
wild.
think you came back when I had spring break.
I came back?
Yeah.
What month was April?
And well, you guys go to April.
Yeah. So I
What
wasn't
am
there.
I thinking about?
I don't know.
I know what. Okay, sorry. So anyway, spring break. I go home. I'm like, literally was like, I was so burnt out already. It was already
Yeah.
March, and like to be fair, it was pandemic teaching.
It was March, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I come back from my brother's wedding in May.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Following.
Come back to Victoria in May for my brother's marriage, even though I was actually planning not to go because during restriction time we were not supposed to go back without any good reason. And my school was like, you go back home. We will, if you get in trouble, we will cover for you because you're not missing your brother's wedding. And I
Yeah.
felt guilty about it. But also I was so lonely. I think they knew I needed to go home.
Yeah.
And then we went for a walk. And this was the moment this podcast was born. Do you remember this? We went to Mount Doug.
Yeah, we were walking through there.
And I remember being like, Sheri, I really want to talk about my experience. And you were just like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheri was the first person that knew.
Yeah. Was I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then we just like, I remember just walking in Mount Doug, just talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I remember. I'm pretty sure you, from the start, called
Yeah.
it the open closet.
yeah, you
From
knew
the
that.
start,
It
and
was
I-
the first thing that came into
And
my
I
brain.
recall you saying, I want some kind of like rainbow colors on the door or something.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you saying that. And then when you put out the logo, I was like, oh yeah.
It was so
Manifested.
Yeah, it just was so natural to me.
Yeah.
That I knew that it was special.
Yeah.
I knew that like when I set the title and I remember when you reacted to it and you're like, yeah, I'm like,
That's the
okay,
one.
right?
Yeah.
And every time I tell somebody, they're like, that's so good.
Yeah. Clever.
But Sheri was the first person I told. It's me. It was me. And that was last May, I think, and that kind of just ever since then I've been planning for this podcast to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to be fair, like it came out a year later. Like I needed some time to process.
Yeah.
But Sheri was also around the time where I also started to think about quitting my job.
Yes. Yes. I do remember that.
And just like I was not enjoying myself.
No.
Like, Sheri knew that as well. What happened else? What happened during that time? Yeah, I was just not enjoying myself. Like honestly, that's it. That's like the thing. And I think like we still gamed and everything. We
Yeah.
still kind of
It was kind of, yeah, for the while it was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not enjoying myself.
Mhm.
And it kept being like, we'd game and we'd chat about it some more. And
mhm.
I think things were getting better for you just in general socially.
Yeah, in 2021.
In 2021, like end of 2021.
Yeah.
So like then that added doubt into your mind a bit because you're like, oh, things are getting better, but now I think I'm gonna commit to like quitting.
Actually, one thing, backtrack. I remember 2020 after my winter blue depressive episode.
Yeah.
I remember telling myself that I'm gonna up my style game.
Oh, excellent!
And I remember all my photos. I started posting like outfit photos and like stuff, and you were just like, you're so supportive of that.
I love fashion.
I love fashion, as you can tell.
Am I fashion? I'm just wearing a turtleneck.
I'm wearing a t-shirt, so I don't know what I'm saying.
It's pink. It's a very nice color.
Thank you. Uniqlo, please.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Uniqlo. Sorry, let's just do an ad right now.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Hey, Josh, are you cold?
Wait. Watch my TikTok.
Yeah, watch Josh's TikTok. Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that shirt?
Oh, this pink one? Actually,
Yeah.
I got it from Uniqlo.
Oh, wow. Sorry, where can I buy that again?
Uniqlo is so nice, soft, comfortable.
Oh, wow.
And it hides all my insecurities.
Oh, my God. Show his arms.
I'm gonna post this on my
No!
But yeah, I started working out and gaining more confidence in myself, I think, in 2021 because of that. I started working out more and doing all these things, and then 2021, like you said, things started getting better. Like pandemic was like things were opening up more. I started to do sports with my church and started kind of still chatting with, like connecting with them, but I still felt really distant from everybody.
Yeah.
Just because no one there knew anything.
They didn't know your testimony.
No.
No.
And that was really tough because I was not in a good place and not to share.
Yeah.
And then similar with work, I wasn't enjoying what I was teaching and very drained. But I found that, you know what, if I don't enjoy my job, I'm at least going to try find ways to enjoy life outside of that. So that was like working out, just trying to socialize.
Yeah. That's a good way of like kind of taking life back a bit. Like even if I'm not enjoying this, I'll like try and find joy in this. Like it's a good way of like working around a shitty situation.
Exactly. And was it easy? No, it was very difficult. Because I felt guilty as a teacher.
You felt guilty.
I felt guilty
because you weren't enjoying it.
Yeah. And I felt that I wasn't fully present, and I felt bad for my kids.
Kids deserve it.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, it's hard to not be able to give that because you can't.
And I'll probably talk more about this like in other episodes and maybe with my colleagues.
Oh, teacher
I know
friends.
some of them want to be on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt a lot of mixed emotions, because I wanted to get out of Vancouver. I wanted to get out of teaching, because I was just so tired and drained of life that I just couldn't see myself pushing myself over the brink again. And I didn't want to get into those ruts again, right?
No.
And so fast forward, like I actually got really close to my friends. I remember telling you that I kind of felt kind of like, should I go? Like, should I leave? I already decided this sucks, you know? Like,
Yeah.
to go like, oh wow, I share my testimony and literally nothing changed.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I even have my like book over there my friends made for me, right?
Aww.
Like, hi DC fam. I'll
Aww.
probably bleep that out, Josh. You know, like just it really did change my view on Vancouver and my experience there. Like when I think back on it, they were always so inviting and loving to me. I just wasn't I didn't want to accept the invitation on Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
stream it.
Stream it. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, I was just such in a dark processing place that I didn't want to put in the effort of doing that again and coming out again, right?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
For you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like mentally straining and
is.
it worries you.
Mm-hmm. And I think I had so much going on in my brain that I didn't want any kind of uncontrollable situations to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really good at keeping things controlled and how I want things, which is a problem too, but controlling issues.
Want to unpack that? No.
Let's unpack
Can we
everything.
unpack things?
This has been in the last couple of months.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I came back for the summer and started just working on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you're back for the summer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I got into some depressive reds, of course, and then I share my podcast to the world in September. And
it was one of the greatest. You're like, it was so good. I showed so many people. I lost my mind. I was like, wow, this is great.
Rosanna, your animation was so
Rosanna,
good.
excellent. Your voiceover, excellent.
Marie, the music, excellent.
Marie, excellent.
She also was the one who helped me produce The Invitation on Spotify.
Oh, on Spotify, stream it
now.
It was. I was like, Mom, watch, and she's like, whatever, like chill. Like I was like, no, I was like showing all my siblings. I was like, let's go. It was lost my mind.
I remember you telling me you shared it with your siblings, and they were just like, oh.
Yeah, I showed Maya. She's like, wow, that's good.
It made my friends' parents cry. That's how good it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You love doing that.
I'm really good at it. But yeah, it's just, you've been, even after sharing that, it wasn't just rainbows and sunshine. Like, she knows a lot of the behind the scenes that I don't tell people because some people are too close to home, too personal.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, I've had bad reactions to it. Boo. From the church, from some close people, and it's, I think I already told you that I kind of knew that some of this would happen.
You did,
but it's hard when it hits reality.
Yeah.
And you had to actually face it.
Yeah.
And
was there anyone that you thought was going to have a bad reaction that actually had a good reaction?
Yeah, a couple of people actually.
Hey.
Yeah, and for me, I think that shows those kind of people, they know me.
Yeah.
They most of them were people that I thought would react badly were parents.
Yeah.
But they're parents of close friends. You
Yeah.
know, and for them to even just post and be like, we love you so much, we're so proud of you, they knew my character rather than just this label.
Yeah. Oh.
Stare at the camera. That I'm not just that.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean,
it's one aspect of you.
Exactly.
It's not your whole being.
Yeah. I think it does help also that I was close to their kids.
Yeah.
And I was there for their kids. I was there for the family as much as I could, right? And I showed that love even amidst my situation and my pain.
And in releasing your podcast trailer and then finding out those reactions, was it anxiety relieving at all because you no longer had to think about the what ifs?
Oh, that's a really good question.
You no longer had to be like, oh, what if this person reacts bad? You then knew their reaction. Was that almost anxiety relieving to you?
You know what's interesting? I think I shared with you before. This is the least anxious I've ever felt in my life.
Yes, you mentioned
ever. This is
bless.
I feel anxious about stuff because life happens.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much those thoughts of how they react. Why didn't they find out? Oh my gosh, I had to act a certain way. I had to do blah, 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 blah. I didn't realize how much it controlled my mind and my heart. And when I think about your question, I think I don't worry about it as much.
Good.
And I think I had to come to a place, if I had shared this even a year ago, I wouldn't have been ready.
No.
If I shared this 2 years ago, I would have not even close to being ready, because I had to wrestle with just understanding that some people will just not understand.
Yeah.
And will not get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show them what it means to be Christian and gay.
Yeah.
I want to show them that literally my life has always been loving God and loving people around me.
Yeah.
And that doesn't change just because I came out.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to, it's not fight. I don't think I need to fight. There's no point of fighting them anymore.
No.
It's just showing,
Yeah.
and I've had so many friends and people who've confessed and talked to me about how they had a negative view on it before, and after they got to know me, they were just like, why was I thinking like that?
Yeah.
And that's like because people were taught they were taught that. It was hateful thinking.
Yeah.
And they realized that it was wrong. Right?
Yeah.
And that's growth. To recognize your mistakes.
It is.
It is. And
to be able to admit it. Yeah.
And I told my friends, I said, thank you. Like, thank you for sharing this to me, because this is what people need to hear. Like, I'm not, like, if anybody thinks this podcast is hateful in any way, I don't know where your mind is.
Yeah.
I don't know where your heart is, because it's clearly not in a good place. And I know that whatever hatred I have for myself and the things that I went through, it was not from God.
Yeah.
Like, we define God as loving, and everything that happened to me was hateful was not him. And the self-hatred that I still deal with today and the instilled homophobia, not him. Like, he has never said to hate or to condemn, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, there's no point of trying to prove to somebody I'm not close to. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So for me, you know what? I'm going to show this to the people that are close to me, that the people that I love, the people that will respect me. And there are people that I know that I respect and are my good friends that are struggling with it, but they're asking questions.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, I grew up thinking this way and I'm having a really hard time getting over it. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, for me, it's like understanding that you know something's wrong about how you're thinking or how you're reacting.
Yeah. That's
a good thing. That's not a bad thing. I understand that they were taught to think that way. Yeah. You know? But it's so tough, right? Yeah. Especially when it hits home, closer to home. And like, I know, like, most of my family knows, like, not everyone does, and you always had those thoughts, but you know what? Like, I have my immediate family. I have you guys. Like, I have a lot of support. And even if, you know, I have backlash, I know that I have people to fall back to. Yeah. And be like, help. Or like, I want bubble tea. You know, like, because I know it's not going to be easy. And this is just the start of it, all honestly. Like, this podcast, thank you to my followers and listeners. Like, honestly, I'm very grateful for you. And I hope it's been helping you and your friends and whatnot. But I know that if, you know, it gets traction or whatever, there might be even more hate. Like, I already like know that might happen, but I'm like, we need to start the conversation. Yeah. And we can't not talk about it anymore. I say this in like every episode because we can't ignore it anymore.
No, it can't be ignored.
You can't. Like, it's like, it's in media, it's everywhere. So stop thinking it's not a thing. Stop thinking it's not real.
Yeah, you can't just deny it.
You can't deny it.
It's real.
Yeah. You know what? And God loves every single person who's in this community.
He's loving.
This is my hot take. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
If Jesus was here today, he'd be chilling with me.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd be chilling on this podcast. We've been talking about life.
I think he'd love everyone.
Right?
Gays, transgenders, lesbians.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, because like humans are humans. Yep. No matter what, we all make mistakes and are dumb. A lot of the times. True. True. But like he understands that we're human first, right? Yeah. Yeah, so
hot take.
It's been a lot of processing, and she's been here for a lot of that. I was in a depressive rut not too long ago.
Oh, classic.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, shoot.
My friends found out through Instagram. As a classic way to find out. I was crying on my Instagram. But it was me recognizing that I have a lot of things I still need to deal with. Yeah. That I thought I had a grasp on. JK. Very much JK.
Yeah. It takes a while, though.
It takes a long time. Who would have thought that years of trauma and self-hatred just don't go away?
Wow. What a concept, Josh.
You heard it first here on the Open Closet.
Wow, Josh, hot take, man. Wow. So wow.
But I don't know. I like, other than my depressive episodes for like a week or whatever, like, I do feel a sense of peace and calmness. Generally, even during that time, I knew that it was gonna be over. I just couldn't get over it. You know, couldn't get out of my thoughts for a bit, and you know, it led to really, really cool, great conversations with my dad, like, honestly. And for those who know, my dad's a pastor, and like, he's also had to wrestle with this, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest, and his generation were taught very differently. But it's a conversation. I'm not, it's a great conversation that we had about, the heart of God and loving people and all that stuff and whatnot. But I'm not going to force my thoughts and opinions. We have different opinions on it, but I still love him. Like, he's trying, and I think people need to hear that. Like, my dad still loves me a lot, and he will always love and care for me as his kid. But even in other things, like, we will always have different opinions on stuff. Like, it's life. But he respects me as an adult, and he respects that I've taken time to think about this without just saying whatever,
That's what, like, that's a relationship in, like, the gist of it, right? Like, it's, you're working through things. You might not always see eye to eye, but you still love each other.
Exactly. And I think that's, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people in our world, it's like, you don't agree with me, bye. I mean, that's not how we learn, dude. That's not how we gonna show love to each other. I don't know why I'm saying things like
I don't know. That was interesting.
Was that weird?
No.
Is that weird for you?
Go for it. Go for it.
Like, for me, it's like reacting hate with hate, not gonna work.
No. People shut down.
Yeah, people shut down. It stops the conversation, and then we end up just not learning and growing from the situation. It's uncomfortable to talk about things. It's really uncomfortable, especially when it pushes how you were taught to think. And so I still have a lot of instilled homophobia in me as a gay person because I was taught that way. And it's really hard for me. It's uncomfortable for me to have to dig through that, and get out of that head. Yeah. Yeah. So Sheri's been here too long.
You want me to leave?
No, I want you to have. You have questions. You have thoughts, concerns.
I do have that one story about
regrets.
Regrets. I don't think I have too many questions. Like, I brought them up, I think, as we went along. I do have that particular story I was thinking about how you've changed. If you would like me to dive in there.
I love for you to dive and talk about me.
Yes, excellent. Okay.
Hate it, actually.
Well, I think this was post one of our workouts, so kind of early on when we were starting to get to know each other. We were in Tim Hortons and we were talking about one of your crushes, your crush at the time, who you brought up, and we were whispering. We were so quiet. We didn't want anyone to overhear that we were talking about you having a crush on a guy. You're dead quiet. And I was just thinking how recently it's the complete opposite. It's constant can't walk straight because I'm not straight, like, always. And, like, loudly too, which I think it gives me a lot of joy to think about the two contrasts there of the complete whisper talking about a boy crush to, like, not straight, like it really, like, brings me joy. Considering, I think that was like 4 years. Like, I think it was like 2018 we were talking about.
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
And when, like, seeing your questions, being like, how's Josh changed? I was like, that's one of the more recent one. Obviously, there's, like, the high school to university to now Josh, but, like, that's like, talking about crushes to, like, going on Hinge, like, swiping on boys. Like, it's just so nice to see you be able to be
not
yourself.
Feel ashamed about
not
it,
feel ashamed, not have to, like, be quiet. You can be proud about who you are and happy about it, as opposed to trying to keep it secret.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. It's cool to hear from other people, because I know that I've changed. I know that I definitely have a little more confidence in myself and my thoughts and beliefs. But, I always have, I mean, even to today, I still have those little voices.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm comfortable with you guys enough to share and, like, be goofy and just say all these things.
Yeah.
Because like whatever, I don't care much anymore.
Yeah.
But it's still, it creeps up. It's still
it's still there.
Still there.
But
yeah, but it's like it's nice to just be like normal with yourself and like in a way where I didn't even think having feelings was normal. Like,
yeah,
I was so ashamed of even having like, I'm not even saying romantic feelings, just feelings. Like,
yeah,
I was ashamed of it and guilty. I felt guilty about it. I felt that it was wrong of me to think that way or feel that way, and to just even learn that, like, to even just recognize, like, wow, like, that was so much hatred.
Yeah,
That was instilled in me as a child. And to think that no one thought it was wrong, that's a harsh reality I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm really glad to hear that I've changed, and like I said, I know that I have. But it's nice to hear from another perspective that I'm not going crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's like,
yeah, it's nice
you're doing good, Josh. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Thanks, friend.
Oh my god.
You stop.
Stop
I
it.
put it over you. So you
I
don't-
know.
Any other thoughts, questions?
Not that I can think of. Anything for me? Any questions to throw back at me?
Just like, how much do you hate me? How much do you hate me?
So, okay, let me start.
Josh forced me on this podcast.
Yeah, he made me come over here and chat.
Yeah. Oh, a side note,
Oh.
Sheri and I. Okay.
Yes?
You notice on the episode today that I'm sitting on a different side
Oh, yes.
because
Haha.
Sheri is also deaf on one side.
Oh.
And I don't know what it was. What is it? What happened? Tell them quickly.
Oh, sudden sensory neural hearing loss.
She lost her hearing suddenly.
Yeah, fun. Great time. Wow. But same ear, that is hearing loss for both of us.
Which sucks because now you can't share AirPods.
No. Bull, I was so mad.
She's
I was so mad.
pissed.
I couldn't remember what Josh's bad ear was. So I was
Yeah.
like, so Josh, tell me it's your right ear, please. And then we could split AirPods. And we can't.
No.
Because it's both our left ears.
No.
So I'm furious about that.
Very sudden hearing loss. Very scary. Very
Yes.
sad times.
Get it checked out quickly.
Get it checked out quickly.
Get on steroids. No, that's the treatment.
But like I think we also bonded because of that.
Yeah,
we were there for
sorry
Sheri for a
for
while.
having a really terrible summer and dragging you down.
It's not my fault that you had a terrible summer. It's not
Sorry.
your fault either.
I know, but you got roped in.
No, it was like honestly just like we're gonna hang out with Sheri as much as we can. We're gonna have her good ear with us.
Yeah,
Honestly, we're accommodating.
here we are.
Yeah, we're
Accessibility, letting me sit in the host
Accessibility.
spot.
Honestly, I should probably get something for my left ear.
You should.
Because it
Get a
honestly is
hearing
not the
aid.
word.
Let's go, boy. And I'm the host of the podcast now because I sit on this side.
No.
So thanks for no.
You want to do the outro?
No, what is it?
Oh, I know what it is. It would probably make it won't make you cry.
Are you gonna make me cry? Go for it. I can cry at the drop of a hat. You can make me
We're gonna
cry.
watch Anahana now.
Oh! Rude.
Okay. Yeah. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was very random, but also hopefully informative. But many of my friends see this person on my Instagram a lot on my stories and stuff.
It's me.
So now you have a story to a face,
Hello.
and some information. Some.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Background.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I wanted.
Yeah.
Information.
Sure.
We are very similar in weird ways, and we kind of balance each other out, and we enjoy hanging out together.
We do.
Isn't that weird?
A lot.
We also love to tease. We're not showing much of that right now.
Yeah, we've been quite nice to each other.
It's just been really nice. Our time is kind of coming up. It's a limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're running out of time, so we gotta wrap this up.
Okay. Cool.
So I like to end my podcast
Uh-huh. Oh, God.
by saying that I appreciate you
Stop.
and
Yeah.
I love you,
Oh, yeah.
and then we hug it out.
Oh my god, cute. You want a hug?
Yeah.
Let's slide this way.
Oh.
Yay.
Thanks, friend.
Thanks for having me.
Cry.
Okay. On demand.
That's it. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Open Closet. You'd like to support the podcast in a different way, we are actually on Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/theopencloset. I know that I won't be posting regularly, but I do have a lot of extra content behind the scenes, things if you would like to see that. Just know that you are beautifully and wonderfully made in God's image. God loves you, and I love you. I'll see you next time.